Did you see it personified when Corbin Carroll gets up with 2 outs and gets on, and next thing you know, he's on third?
Yeah, that was nuts. One heck of an inning. Obviously, heads up base running by both him and Kevin, getting to third on that stolen base pass ball, and then I think it was the next pitch scoring there. That's the difference in the ball game for sure.
Josh, you've been around 8 years now in the major leagues. Have you ever been on a team that's on this kind of a roll in the last month?
Not even close.
Really?
Yeah. I know that I've been on good teams, I've been on bad teams in the past, but to be on this kind of streak where it's a different person every night, a different way of winning the ball game. Tonight it was base running. Sometimes it's pitching, sometimes it's a long ball, but it seems like we're strong, clawing and scratching, just trying to find out a way to win, and we're doing that.
2 more doubles for you tonight. So many extra base hits since you've been a Diamondback. Scored a couple of runs. How do you approach a guy that you've never faced before? This guy just got to the big leagues. A veteran like you, what do you do against a guy you've never seen?
Yeah, I think it's just trusting my game plan. We have heat maps in there, so I try to square up, his best pitches. If he's going to be working me down in a way, I'm going to try to stay on the baseball as best as I can. If he's coming in, I'm going to try to clear the bat head out and, try to get the balls elevated. So really just depends on what they tend to do. And if I can, sync up with that, good things happen.
And we talked about it on the pregame show, Todd and I. This team, I was on a couple of very good teams here in 01 and 02. One won the World Series. This team is on a historic roll right now. And if I'm your manager, I'm telling you guys have a chance to put your stamp on Diamondbacks history. Are you guys thinking about doing some historic stuff in the dugout?
I know that, we believe in one another. It's one pitch at a time, one play at a time. I don't think we're thinking too far off into the future, but we know we have something special here. And we know even when we go down early in games that it's only a matter of time before we have the opportunity to come back. And all we got to do is capitalize.
I'm going to ask both of you a question here before we let you go. This is a fascinating stat to me, Josh. The Diamondbacks are now 23-12 in 1-run games this season. That's the best in Major League Baseball. What's that tell you about your group?
Heck of a bullpen and clutch at bats late in the game. If it takes one, get me over, getting the base runner over, one single up the middle or the long ball, it seems like we have the lineup that can do it, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
1-run games.
1-run games, that means you got guts.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you mean. He's talking about good bullpen. The defense has been so good. And you also, you talked about base running, but this team is pounding the baseball offensively, and it's easy to look really good when the offense is rocking and rolling.
Kind of ease into this game, and they kind of did. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but they found a way. They've been doing it for 6 weeks now. 5-4 your final. Here's our game summary presented by our title sponsor across the board. 4-9-0 for the Rockies, 5-8-0 for the Diamondbacks. And let's take a closer look at Brandon Pfaadt here tonight. You see 11 strikeouts there on the board, no walks, 7 innings. He got into 7, Mark. This was not vintage Brandon Pfaadt, but how can you argue with 7 innings, 11 strikeouts?
I was just going to say, numbers-wise, it's not vintage Brandon Pfaadt, but stuff-wise and what you saw with the 11 strikeouts, that's kind of vintage Brandon Pfaadt. So it was an interesting outing by Brandon tonight. But, our old buddy Mike Morgan used to say that sometimes you got to win the game in the shower.
Wow.
So Brandon Pfaadt had left the game and he was down a run. He's probably in the shower and somebody tells him, hey, by the way, you stand to win this one tonight. And sure enough, they held on.
We've seen a little bit of that this year happen to Diamondback starting pitchers. Bob Brenly brought up a point about Pfaadt's stuff about mid-game, that he didn't think it was an issue of stuff, but it was about location and missed location and maybe leaving a few things over the plate. Did you agree with that assessment?
I wholeheartedly agree with that. And the pitches that were hit, you just got a little too much plate. And Brandon learned last year that it doesn't matter if you're playing a first-place team or a last-place team. Major league hitters are going to hit the ball hard if you leave it in the middle of the plate.
Okay, now there's a couple of ways to look at this, I think. First of all, you got the last place Colorado Rockies, right. 300 games out in the National League West. Yes, they may have gift-wrapped this game, but the Diamondbacks also made them pay.
No doubt.
Okay, so let's get to the 6th and the 7th innings when the wake-up call happened.
Okay.
Let's see how the Diamondbacks found their way back into this, Mark.
All right. Let's check it out here. There's Newman. There's a base hit up the middle. Oh, that just seemed normal. Well, there's our guy, Josh Bell. Into the gap it goes. Another big extra base hit. And just like that, it's 4-2.
And this is your guy.
Man, I think it's everybody's guy right now. And Josh Bell beats the throw. McCarthy, another big hit right there. Man, is that the funky chicken? Remember that?
I guess it is. Now all of a sudden they're on the board, and you're thinking, okay, they're hanging around, but they're more than hanging around.
And all this with 2 outs. Corbin Carroll a base hit, and then Newman first and third. Now let's see what happens now. There's a wild pitch, and Newman was running on the pitch from first, so he gets all the way to third. So now it's a tie game and a runner at third. Well, that's big because the very next pitch, this ball barely gets out of the circle. Newman across home plate. Yes, it was gift wrap, but you're right. These Diamondbacks made them pay for their mistakes.
A couple of things that we didn't see there. That also happened after a foul ball that went back towards the backstop.
Yes.
That may have been an opportunity to end that inning. As Bob Brenly said, now just go ahead and make them pay. That's what great teams do.
That's exactly right. And what we're witnessing is historically great in the last month for these Arizona Diamondbacks. And once again, if you give these guys right now, if you give them this much space,
Crack it open.
bang, right through it.
Kevin Newman didn't start this game. Ketel Marte tried to go, re-injured the ankle.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the game just went through Kevin Newman. When you have a guy like that on your roster, Mark, it's funny how the game seems to find them.
Yeah, and it's funny. Kevin Newman came to the ballpark today with just about every inkling that I'm not going to be in the lineup tonight. I'm not going to play. Well, guess what? After one inning, he's inserted. He had a great game yesterday, and he is the reason that the Diamondbacks are celebrating a victory tonight.
Let's go back to what happened to Ketel Marte early on his first at bat. And this was after Torey Lovullo told us today that he admitted that he was still sore from the injury, but wanted to play. Torey was happy to hear that, but then he rolled on it.
Yeah, you see his back foot there. Watch his back foot. He rolls it ever so slightly, but once you rolled it a couple days prior, that hurts. And he finished his at bat. He hits a ball almost to the track in right field, but you can see he's not able to go. And that was the end of Ketel Marte's night. And that was the beginning of Kevin Newman's night.
Yes, it was. And we'll get an update, we hope, from Torey Lovullo on Ketel Marte a little bit later on. And again, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., we thought might have been available tonight. He's listed as day to day, but I want to go to the ninth inning because you never know what's going on in the final stages of a game in the Diamondbacks bullpen these days. And tonight it was given to Justin Martinez.
Yeah, Justin Martinez, he had the 102 mile an hour, but he gives up a couple of hard hit balls. This is the leadoff hitter right there. Line drive into left field, and all of a sudden, but the next hard hit ball, once again, Kevin Newman right there. Double play ball. That's poor base running right there by the Colorado Rockies. That ball's right in front of you. You know you got to freeze, but you make the mistake. That's the things that last place teams do. They give you gifts like that. And then, of course, Perdomo, an easy third out. And I'm not going to say an unlikely win, Todd, because we've seen so many comfort behind victories here lately, but that one, they just seemed a little lax and dead in the water in the middle innings there, but shame on me for thinking that way.
Well, but they're also battling human nature. They're playing the last place Colorado Rockies, and as you talked to Josh Bell, the pitcher they didn't know a whole heck of a lot about.
Right.
But then Bud Black may have gotten a little greedy in letting him go just a little longer than maybe he should have, and the Diamondbacks chipped away and got that huge run. And then they put themselves in a position to make the Rockies pay.
And that's what happens when you get base runners and you put pressure on the opposing defense, they will eventually make a mistake. They made a couple of mistakes, just back-to-back wild pitches, 2 runs, ball game.
Wild pitches, back-to-back wild pitches.
That doesn't happen too often.
No, but it does happen to teams that are feeling it.
Okay. Right.
They're all not going to be easy, and they never are. You know, this is a good baseball team that we're playing against, and they're hungry, they're athletic, and they jumped out to a lead on us, and we didn't blink. You know, I think at the right times, our attentiveness, our focus, and our readiness just showed up, and it all piled up into a couple really good plays, a couple really good at-bats. I think for me, the first thing that went very well for us as we were starting to mount our comeback was a shutdown inning in the 7th by Brandon Pfaadt. for him to go back out there, go through the order that fourth time and get a couple of outs, gave me a chance to get Thompson a clean inning and then Martinez a clean inning. We had plenty of pitching available, but I targeted those guys. They were the most rested, and for me, it was that seventh inning that was the key, and it set things up for a quick eighth, and then obviously you saw what happened there in the ninth. Offensively, we never shut down. We kept coming. There was a couple innings there, maybe the third, fourth, and fifth inning, where their pitcher got in a nice rhythm. We hadn't seen him before, so we were trying to get familiar with him, as familiar as possible with him. Thought we had some quality at bats. A couple hard hit balls didn't fall. I understand that's part of the game, but when we needed to, we got some big hits at the right time. It was the Josh Bell to McCarthy. It was just some quality at bats. Then we got on via walk, a couple clean base hits, and then the base running took over, and that's the attentiveness that I was talking to. So 11 punchies for Brandon Pfaadt, 7 innings, just a really, really good effort. Sometimes I look up there, and it was a 7th win or 6th win. What did you tell me? 7th win. He's pitched way better than 7 wins. It throws me off every once in a while, but he keeps us in the game. And we won a baseball game today really because of him, in my opinion, and some very, very quality hitting and that attentiveness that I was talking about. I thought it was a great job. We had a key. He takes off, the ball goes to the backstop, goes all the way first to third. He had a terrific day. He didn't come into the game, or he didn't start the baseball game, but you talk about adaptability and readiness. He made the most of his opportunity today. A couple clean base hits, and then an unbelievable base running read at third base on a ball that didn't get too far away from Diaz. So I thought it was just him being in the right place and being extremely ready. From third base when the pitch was delivered to home plate, and then as soon as you read it, it is all instincts. It is all preparation and anticipation. So we talk about it. We don't necessarily practice from third base. We talk about it a lot, though. A lot.
Was Newman running on that first one to go?
He was running, yeah. First and third, we put him in motion, so we got a good jump start.
Does the intelligence need a couple more days, or are you worried about?
He tried to just gut it out today. I mentioned that I'd been texting him in the morning before we all got here, and he said that he was still feeling some pain, but he was gonna try to play. He was gonna try to do it. The pregame prep was good enough for us to feel like we could ask him to do it, and he continued to say that he was ready to go, and then he just took the swing you all saw, the same one. That I saw is where he felt a little bit of discomfort. So it's just a little bit of a re-aggravation of the original injury. It's nothing in the knee. It's above the ankle and the joint there. So we just need to get him off the field. And he was trying to go back out there, but I just told him, look, it doesn't make sense. Let's get you off the field and get you resting up and recovering and see where we're at day to day.
There's your update from manager Torey Lovullo regarding Ketel Marte, but I loved his conversation on what he was looking for from the bullpen tonight, that he had targeted Ryan Thompson and Justin Martinez, and I'd gone out to get a glass of water and came back and you said 5-pitch inning.
5-pitch inning.
And the 8 for Thompson.
Time to go down to the field.
Yeah, that just speaks volumes about what he was looking for. Can you imagine you're the manager and you're going into this game and you're thinking, I want my starter to go 7. And I'm looking at Thompson and Martinez.
Thompson and Martinez.
Bam.
That sounds like a winning formula to me.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah.
and honestly, I think Torey did a good job tonight. Just look, we talk about Marte getting him off the field, big picture type of thing. But also, you got a player like Newman that can come in and do his own version of his damage.
So in 01, was that the Craig Counsell type player that could play anywhere lay it out and do anything to win a game.
And that's what Newman has done. We saw him at first base when Christian Walker originally got hurt, played well there, got hits, and then he's been playing second base. We've seen him play. He can play all over the infield. I mean, honestly, I think the guy could catch if you needed him to.
And then that's like a Lloyd McClendon, you said, with the Cubs?
With
you got to have a guy that's
yeah.
just covered in dirt and has touched every part of the game.
Yeah, and sweats profusely, and you love those kind of guys.
Sure.
Bleed. Guys that'll bleed for you.
Bleed, yeah.
There is a speed bump on the front. 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 This is a child-protected area. Slow down less than 30 kilometers.